Our thoughts, our mind, it's always wanting to keep us safe, keep us where we are, keep us from taking chances. I've always gone to writing to access inner peace within me. Communing with nature is another one. But there's been a practice that's helped me really turn off the mind with ease, and it's meditation. I know that meditation is one of those things that people either scoff and roll their eyes at, or they feel uncomfortable realizing that it's much harder to turn off our minds than we thought. It's difficult to tune out our thoughts when we've spent our entire lives catering to it. Focusing on your breath and listening to silence is much easier said than done. For years, meditation acted as yet another gold star to earn, another item to mark on my spiritual checklist, more brownie points for how well I've been sticking to my morning healthy habits. And when it came to meditation, I always felt like a green banana. But there are always some breakthroughs that take a little bit more time to ripen. And there are things that come to us in life to show us the process. This takes trial, and this takes error. One important thing to know that not many people seem to be talking about is that the mind loves vision boards. It loves ownership and goal setting, acquiring more money, more recognition to satisfy the never-ending thirst of our mind's insecurities. Our minds will always want more to bury down its fear of not being enough. But this place, this feeling I've experienced in meditation this last year is going beyond the mind. In meditation, when you reach this place, you stop caring about any of it. There's no fear over that which it cannot control. It's fully content with what is here. It's a feeling of quiet appreciation, of groundedness, of unity with all that is. Today, meditation for me is a place where I access this eternal now. While in it, you feel a deep sense of connection and presence with the world around you. And it's a feeling I'm now quite addicted to experiencing every day. My practice has become a place to come home to. It's a place where nothing else exists but the present moment. No worries, no thoughts, no noise. And for years, it used to be so hard to shut my brain off, my quick and anxious mind fluttering like a hummingbird. But this past year, curious to see what was beyond this fire hydrant of thought, I cracked open a tiny hole and witnessed profound stillness, pure, unchanged stillness. It's witnessing the mind, but not being of it. And through this presence, I experience a feeling of oneness, of love. And when I sit inside on the mat or outside on the moss, I feel transported. This is how I feel every time I'm in nature. Naturally, I'm very bubbly and excitable and fiery by nature. But when I come out here, when I'm in nature, after meditation, it's like I lose identity with me, and I become more connected with something so much deeper and so much more one with all that is. Connecting with my favorite tree. This is my favorite tree here in the forest where I live. And I will just put my back against the trunk and breathe, put my hands in the soil, put my hands on the bark, and just place my hands there and breathe. And I feel so much more connected to the world and to love and to that feeling of oneness. I feel this sense of oneness, this sense of unity amongst all living things, all living beings, every plant, every ant, every bug, every person, every animal, everything, every piece of matter. I feel so connected and intertwined with it all. One is not better or different. We're all the same. We're all equal. We're all united. And I know that sounds kind of airy-fairy, but after meditation, when I'm in nature, I am airy-fairy. One of the things I've been experiencing lately in my own life is letting go of the identity, letting go of the self, the persona, Helena, personality, letting go of these labels and constructs to identify me and other people and the world around me in general. I'm just letting go of all the labels, letting go of all opinions. I'm just surrendering and letting go of attachment to all things. And this really started when I went into the forest a few days ago, and I had this moment where I felt deep clarity that I needed to just sit down on the road. It was like a little side patch on the road, but I sat down and I just meditated for 20 minutes in the silence, listening to the birds. And I came out of this meditation feeling changed, like feeling really different. And the feeling hasn't gone away. It's still here. And what it is, it's this sense of unity and connectedness with all that is. And maybe you've experienced it too in meditation, or you've experienced it in moments where you feel so much gratitude and joy that you tap into that place of oneness, of the eternal now. And I hope that I never have to leave this place. I hope that I can stay in this state of mind for as long as possible, because it feels really good. So embarrassed. Every time I come up these mountains and hike these paths, I always sing really loudly. I'm always singing when I walk. And I've never ever seen anyone on these trails, ever. I've never seen someone up here on this path. And I've lived here for 4 or 5 months now, and I've never seen anyone. And then today, I'm singing so loud. So loud because, Frankie Valli, his falsetto is really high, and those songs are really high up there, I just stumbled upon someone and his dog, and he looked at me kind of weird, like, what were you doing? I could hear you. Oh well, mountain life, man. Mountain life. Oh, yes. Yes, nature. Life is so simple. And if we remember how simple life is, and the simple joys that come with living life and being present and being here, it's much easier to feel gratitude for being alive, because it's all so simple. We humans make things so complicated, and we make things so hard. And it doesn't have to be. Life doesn't have to be hard. Life doesn't have to be complicated. It just is. The trees just are. The mountains just stand. The birds just sing. Whether you live in a city, or you live in the countryside, or you live in the mountains or suburbia, pause this video and go outside and touch some grass. Touch the tree bark of a lone tree. Life is so beautiful. It's so beautiful in its simplicity. It's so beautiful in its neutrality. Earth is neutral. Earth is neutral. Everything in life is neutral. But humans, the mind, it makes things so hard. The mind puts labels and opinions and reactions to everything, thoughts to everything. But the earth just is. And when we can become present and really just find that oneness, that sense of unity and connection with all that is neutral and here and present, we can notice love so much easily. We can notice compassion. We can feel that so easily. We can feel gratitude and simple joys and all of this so easily. Damn, that's good. Water is magical potion. Water is a life force. When I was a little girl, my mom told me that water was beauty juice, and I believed her. Like, I literally believed that water was beauty juice. And now as an adult, I realize, no, she was right. She was right. Water does make you beautiful because water gives you life, water gives you energy, and it gives you vitality. The first thing I do every morning when I wake up is I drink a lot of water, like almost this whole thing. First thing when I wake up. And it really wakes my body up. I don't need coffee. I don't drink coffee. I don't need coffee. I don't need caffeine because water, especially cold water, so good in the morning. So good. So I thought I'd give you a little life update. I have had this idea for a video for probably like a month and a half now, since New Year's, about filming what it's like to work at a boulangerie or something to do with bread and like French bread. Because bread is such a big part of French culture. Going to the boulangerie is a daily thing for people in France. It's such a big part of the culture here. And I really wanted to make a video on it because who doesn't love bread? And and I went to like 8 or 9 different boulangeries. I went to all these different cities in Corsica, and I couldn't find the right boulangerie. Like, I was waiting for just a gut feeling, like a yes, this is it. Like a strong yes from my intuition or my instincts. And I went to all these boulangeries and none of them felt right. And also, when I film videos, what's really important is having a lot of light in the house or in the space, like in the building. And so I need lots of light. And so several of these boulangeries were very dark, cramped, tiny places that didn't have a lot of light. And I also wanted to show the bread making process. Like, I wanted to show making bread and like the process of making bread. But I went to all these places and no one had like a place in the back where they make bread. In fact, all the boulangeries that I went to in Corsica told me that in France, people don't make the bread in the back. They import it and then like it's frozen basically, and then they just put it in the oven, which is not how it used to be done back in the day, but it is how it's really done today. It's mostly done that way. So I was kind of discouraged. I thought, maybe this video isn't going to happen. I'm just going to like throw it out into the universe, and if it's meant to happen, if I'm meant to make it, I'll make the video at some point. And so I let go of it and I moved on. And then I was in Bastia like a week later, and I was just walking around because Alex was taking his French test for his citizenship application, because he's applying for French citizenship. And so he was all day in the city, you know, taking his test. And so I was walking outside of a little cafe and they were talking very loudly in French. And I don't know why, but these two older, like old gentlemen, they just kind of like caught my interest. They caught my attention. And so I was kind of just observing them for like a few seconds. And then I went up to one of them and I said, "Hey, could I interview you about what it's like to live in Corsica and like Corsican like culture and how you would describe it?" And he was like, "Oh no, I don't want to." And I was like, "Okay, it's fine." But then his friend shouted to a guy all the way across the street on a different square. And he's like, "Hey, come over here. This girl wants to interview someone." And I was like, "Oh my gosh," I was so embarrassed. And so this guy came over, and he's an artist, and he was like he was very happy to have me interview him about Corsican life. And so I interviewed him. And then he was the brother of my new friend. And I actually made a friend that day. Let's be honest, it's really hard to make friends as an adult. I find that each year as I get older, it becomes more difficult to make friends with people. Now here's for the crazy part. The crazy part of this whole story is that as I was talking to my new friend, he just randomly told me that he is good friends with some people that work at a boulangerie in Bastia. And this boulangerie is one of the most famous boulangeries in all of France. It's one of the very few boulangeries that actually make their bread there. And like it's very biologique, which is like very natural, like whole grain, very healthy and natural. And I just couldn't believe it. I was like, "What? Universe, you did it again! You did it again!" And so we met up the next week, the following week, to hang out and to go to the boulangerie. And I filmed them making bread in the back. And this boulangerie was really big, and it was filled with all these wide, tall windows. So all this light was just sweeping and flooding the whole building. And it was so beautiful. And the bread, oh. The bread, guys, the bread. It's like it tastes like Italian bread, kind of like focaccia. Oh my god, so good, so good. I bought like so much bread. But anyway, so I filmed a video at this boulangerie, and I interviewed them, the people who work at the boulangerie, on like Corsican life and everything, and it was really fun. And then he introduced me to his friends that worked at the boulangerie, and one of the girls I got along really well with. And it's crazy because I don't want to say I'm picky with my friends, because I'm not necessarily picky. I don't like small talk with my friends. It's hard to make friends as an adult, especially when you're living in the countryside and you're living in a foreign country where you don't speak advanced French. And if you don't speak advanced French, you can't really talk about philosophy and the meaning of life and planets and astrology, and you can't talk about these things if you're not advanced, fluent level French. So I kind of surrendered to the idea that, you know, I may not make a really good friend here in Corsica, and that's okay. Why am I sharing this? Why am I sharing this? Well, the whole point of me sharing this is to ask the universe for what you want. In fact, don't even ask. Don't even pray. Don't say, can you send me this? Don't even do that. Say, this is what I want. This is what I want my life to look like. This is what I would like in my life. And then say it. Like, say it out loud to the universe. But it's such a dichotomy because the hard part is surrendering and letting go of your desire, because when we want something, it's very easy to get like focused on it and fixed on it, and then you really want it, right? Your heart was like desiring and yearning for this, but it's really hard to just let go and say, well, I hope it happens, but if it doesn't, I'll be okay too. Like, it's hard to get to that place, but I am very good at that. I'm very good at wanting things and then letting go and not really caring if I get it or not, and then it comes. And this is exactly what happened to me the other day with this is really too bright. Hold on, let me just turn this. Okay. Yeah, that's better. I think so. What do you guys think? I think it's better. But this is exactly what happened to me with my new friends that I made here in Corsica. And like, these two friends that I made, they are both very deep thinkers. They love to talk about like deeper things and philosophy, and he's really into Marx and she's really into spirituality, and she's really into like human design and astrology and, you know, manifestation, all this new age stuff that I love so much. And just like, what are the chances? What are the chances of meeting people like that in Corsica that speak English? And now I have my boulangerie film that's coming out soon. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. So I'm gonna start making videos where I go out into nature and I talk to you guys in this kind of way, because it feels more natural, it feels easier, and it feels more fun. And fun is the name of the game for me. I just have a really good feeling about these new videos that I'm going to be making. It feels really fun. And that's the whole point of life, to have fun and to experience depth and the richness of life, of course. But for me, having fun is my priority. Having fun and enjoying the things that I'm doing every day is like number one. If I don't enjoy it, I stop doing it. If it's not fun for me, I'm done. Like, that's how I approach anything. And when you have fun, good things can come from fun. When you get into that place, that aligned place of fun, everything just unfolds beautifully. And when I'm, oh yes, bird. Did you hear that bird? That was so beautiful. But anyway, all right, I'm gonna quit rambling. I've been here a while. I'm gonna go meditate. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. You smell those tater tots?
Oh yeah, that's the stuff.
I love taters, and I love tots. Together, they make a wonderful creation.
Holy union.
A holy union.
Tater plus tots equals yum.
I hadn't had tater tots since we were at Disneyland Paris, and I stuffed those hash browns in my purse for the next morning.
Well, that's right. They were like medallion, like little circle tater tots. They're not the usual American tater tots.
No. When I was a young warthog, when she was a young warthog. Hello. Alright, this is gonna make me sound crazy, but I swear that fairies live here. I swear. And I think they live right here. Every time I pass this little beautiful brook, I feel like a rush of enchantment. Like there's something here that I can't see, but it's not in the five senses. It's in the unseen realm of the world,